Jonathan David is ready for the Derby d'Italia with a goal yesterday with his national team. Attenzione, the words of Luciano Moggi about the possible Scudetto race, and then we speak about good news from l'Infermeria, from the J Medical. Ciao Juventini of the world, I hope you're all doing well. Prepare yourself and I hope you're enjoying this weekend of Formula 1 in Monza, because from next week we start and we don't stop, or at least until the 5th of October. 6 games, crazy games. On Saturday we start immediately because in 1 week it's Derby d'Italia against Inter, and then we follow 3 days later against Borussia Dortmund. The Dortmund that we were able to beat in their stadium, but it was a friendly. It will be totally different in the first game of Champions League. Verona away from home. We go again in our home against Atalanta of Juric before traveling again for Champions League against Villarreal on the 1st of October. It will be a Wednesday, and then Juve Milan on the 5th of October before the second international break. So 6 games, big games. Inter, Atalanta, Milan, with the 2 games of Champions League only on paper. Verona should be an easier one. It will be tough. It will be difficult. As we speak, I don't have other travels planned, so it means that we will do the 6 watch-alongs here on the channel. If you didn't hit, please put a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel because we start with the other things, and the good news, of course, are coming from l'Infermeria, from the J Medical, where and Cabal, and Miretti, and Perin are about to be actually freed from the J Medical to integrate again the team. Will they be ready to be on the bench against Inter? This is the question mark. Give them a bit of time. But how important is it to recuperate these 3 players? Cabal, that was last year, let's not exaggerate fundamental, but in the 9 games that he was playing, well, he was showing some potential. Some games that he did really well. There was 1 total flop game, we know it, against Lille, against Jegrova, but Juventus and Damien Comoli, they solved that problem because Jegrova is our player now. So 3 players, Cabal, I tell you, will be fundamental. I'm asking myself in what role he will start to play. Will it be as a braccetto in that 3-man defense instead of Kelly? Will he be the vice Kelly to start? Or will he be actually play as a vice Cambiaso on the left with the possibility to see Cambiaso a bit more on the right side? Well, question for later. Pay attention. Cambiaso that yesterday played against Estonia with the national team of Italy, but that will not be there for the Derby d'Italia because, of course, we know it's 2 games banned, so it will be the second game before being back here with the team first in Champions League, Borussia, and then Verona in Serie A. Miretti, important also because if in all the preseason he was actually tested by Igor Tudor behind the striker, well, there is no free spot there, so he will have to reinvent himself, or Tudor will have to find a new spot for the Italian midfielder. And then Perin, important. That Perin, we know that Perin is a goalkeeper that when he is there, when he is available, is always someone that we can trust on. So good news from l'Infermeria. What is happening in La Continasa? Where Tudor decided to give a few days off to all the players that were still there and not called up by their national team. One that decided to not go on holiday because he just arrived. It's Jegrova, from the sources, from the voices that are arriving from a bit everywhere. Mamma mia, the guy has so much grinta. He can't wait to actually show, to recuperate, to be ready for the next upcoming games, to be as fast as possible at total disposal of Tudor, not only for parts of games. Jegrova that said, you know what, give me just 1 day of holiday on Sunday. On Sunday, let me enjoy my new life. Let me enjoy maybe the city of Torino, maybe going to La Mole, to the museum that we have, because it's a really beautiful city. But the other days, I want to work here in La Continasa. I want to be there. Not only him, also Bremer and Cabal are also training. So bravo, Edon Jegrova immediately with that mentality. Working hard, because then you will see what it will bring to you. Only working hard. This is one of the mentality of Juve that I always told you. Seriousness. When I'm speaking with old legend, well, they told me always, and it always come back, the way of being serious, the way of working harder than all the others has always been a huge principle of Juve. Yesterday, the national teams, we saw a few games. It actually started 2 days ago, but yesterday we were all curious to see our new boy, Jonathan David, that yesterday was playing against Romania with Canada, well, he didn't use a lot of money to a lot of minutes to actually start scoring, because immediately, boom, the game starts and he opens the score in a final result of 3-0, a goal with a header. You know that I love strikers that are also able to score with these headers. It's not the tallest player, but having that possibility of also scoring headers, super important for him. What did he say after the game? Attenzione, we can compete in whatever competition that we will participate in. We will try to arrive as far as possible. Is he crazy? I don't think he's crazy, because if you are listening also to the words of Alessandro Matri today, a double-page interview in Tutto Sport, but also in Gazzetta dello Sport, said, pay attention, Juve, you must actually imitate. You must actually do a copy-paste of what Napoli did last year. What does that mean? Actually not being the favorite, and then you see what happens, because they won the Scudetto. I always told you, and I said it yesterday, we are not favorite. As far as I know, there are some teams that are above Juve if you are looking at theory, if you are looking at papers, if you're looking at how the team has been built, but you never know, and surprises are always there around the corner. So if Jonathan David believes that we can compete in every competition, if Alessandro Mati is saying that we need to be a bit that miracle is maybe an exaggerated word, but a bit that surprise of the tournament, if we believe in it, you never know. Already 6 points on 6, winning against Inter is not fundamental, is not crucial at match day 3, but it could be an extremely beautiful moral boost, and especially if we go towards the words of Lucianone Moggi that yesterday spoke to Juventus. We already quoted his words about Paris Saint-Germain, about Damien Comolli, that he said, oh, attenzione, he must be appreciated for what he did in taking actually the duel against Al-Khelaifi, but yesterday also spoke about that Scudetto run. What did he say? He spoke about Dusan Vlahovic. He said, if Dusan Vlahovic will be used in the perfect way, if we are able to make him work like he already worked in the first and second game, which means entering from the bench but being immediately decisive, Juventus could possibly do better than what people are thinking, because I don't know a lot of people that at today are putting Juve in the really starting block to win the Scudetto. I didn't hear a lot of content creators going with bold prediction in saying Juve will win the Scudetto. If you're looking at all the betting sites, you see that Juve is not really quoted really high, but pay attention, because Moggi said if we can use Dusan Vlahovic as a lethal weapon, well, Juve could possibly do more than what people are thinking. Why? Because the opponents are not that crazy. They all have good skills, they all have weaknesses, but it will be a beautiful battle with a lot of different teams. Of course, there are some teams that are ahead on paper, like Inter and Napoli, that are above all the other ones. Let me know what you think about the words of Luciano Moggi, that said that Dusan Vlahovic could possibly be a key for the front. Is he the best striker of Juve? He said absolutely, without doubt, but I have a lot of admiration for all the other players, the work done by Damien Comolli. And then we go back to the words of Jonathan David that yesterday said, can I play together with Dusan Vlahovic? I said, yeah, I think it is possible. Of course, it's the coach that will decide, but for me, it would be absolutely no problem. The other games of La Nazionale Italiana that yesterday won 5-0 against Estonia, a team that started the first game of Gennaro Gattuso on the bench. It was funny when I watched actually the 5th or 4th goal celebration, and I see Bonucci and Buffon that were celebrating there as well, because they are part of the technical staff. Well, they started without Juventini. We had 3 on the bench, Gatti, Cambiaso and Locatelli. Cambiaso and Locatelli entered in the second half. Cambiaso with an assist also for the 4-0 of Retegui. Locatelli entered, not a great game for the Azzurro. What else? La France that won 2-0 yesterday against Ukraine, but 0 minutes for Kefren Turan that was on the bench. Yesterday also Montenegro played and lost against Czech Republic with only 20 minutes in the end for Vasilija Adzic, and then also under 21 that played with Rui that entered the last 10 minutes in the 3-0-1 for the young team of Sweden against Armenia. The day before I already spoke about Openda with Belgium. And who was the other ones? I don't remember. There was also another game that I don't remember like this by heart. But pay attention, the good news is at today, at the moment, and I don't want to jinx it, we have no injuries, which is the most important thing as we speak today, because pay attention, look at Rahmani that yesterday with the national team had a small muscular injury. I don't know how long it will take, but you know it. It's always a tricky part, this national team, and I don't want for once blaming always the national team, but I really want to blame the calendars. Calendars are really crazy because the players, after some holiday, they go back, they start to put everything that they have in their legs, with every single team with a different preparation. We start 2 games and then they are obliged already to take the plane to do extra travels to be around the world and playing. It can always be a problem. So these first national team games in September are not always welcome. The last news before closing, because there are not a lot of news today, it's Thiago Motta that is in talks with Bayer Leverkusen to possibly replace the ex-coach of Manchester United and Ajax. We are speaking about Ten Hag. He could possibly be a coach of them. At the moment, he's cautious, he's calm, he's taking his time. He don't want to go too fast because he don't want to burn his career, so he wants really to make the right choice. At the end, I don't think that he will accept, but it would be beautiful for Juve as well financially, because you are able to free up between 10 and 15 million euro that are still there, saved in the bank, to continue to pay him and his staff. If you enjoyed the video of today, that is a short one but an important one, let me know what you thought about it, about the words especially of Luciano Moggi. Let me know in the comment section. Grazie, forza, Juve.